Good morning and welcome back to Morning at NTV. Now, as campaigns for representatives to the East African Legislative Assembly start, the last few years have given Ugandans and most regional observers a cause to pause on the relevance of the East African community. Dr. Joseph Tindyebwa wants to sit in one of the ESC's arms, and today he will tell us why this body is relevant. Doctor, good morning.
Yes, good morning, dear viewers.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to have a discussion concerning the East African community and in regard to its establishment, its purpose, its vision, so that my fellow countrymen and women, we can either appreciate why we should continue to be part of this and in any way to be able to support its improvement. And it's important, dear viewers, to know that East African community is not a body which was formed yesterday. We trace it as far as 1962 after the independence of most of these member states, and we started with a few of the states including Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania. Of now, we are 6 member states and about to complete the agreement of having the 7th state, which will be Democratic Republic of Congo. The vision of East African community is to be a prosperous, competitive, secure, stable, and politically united East Africa. And I would like just to make it plainly known to us that the concept of unity is not just a today's vocabulary. We all know that when people are united, they can do better. 2 are better than, 2 heads are better than 1. We look at some states like the European Union, some bodies, the European Union, we look at the United States of America and in the African context, when we look at the Western African countries, their unity has helped them to achieve a lot. Equally, our mission for East Africa is to widen and deepen economic, political, social, cultural integration in order to improve the quality of life of our people. It's not just a body of show up of a strong politician. It's a body which is intending to unite all people of East Africa. And by the way, back to what we have been attempting to achieve, that is some who believe in Pan-Africanism. Because before we have a united Africa, can we try this and we become a united East Africa? And we do not take it only for the sake of unity, but become unity for a purpose. This body, as it resumed, on the way it had challenges between 1962 and you remember the different removal of some regimes because of the dictatorial tendencies. They straight away began to breach and to divert from the very mission which it was standing for. And we hope where we are, we should not repeat the same mistakes. We had one of the challenges, dear viewers, which were encountered in the process of building a strong East African community, including a political federation. The democratic practices of the days of Idi Amin, the late, it was really quite disappointing to most of these other member states. We see now Tanzania joining together with those who were not believing in that the then junta to remove it out of power. And now, what was it to unite us, basing on a politically stable East Africa, it was totally shunned away. And it is at this very time we look at these bodies which include the East Africa Legislative Assembly, and we also have a summit. These are organs equal like how we have governing bodies in Uganda. You find we have the parliament, we have which is the legislative arm of government. We also have the cabinet, and that's the executive. At the East African level, community, we also have the East African Court of Justice, and that is a judicial arm of the East African community, meaning that any of the member states, if there is any discontentment we citizens in the East African community, we can sue, we can petition, we can show our grievance through that court. And we also have this arm of the very body, the East African Legislative Assembly. What do we intend to achieve? We understand of now a number of protocols have been signed which are rated with trade protocols, common border protocols signed so that we don't have the challenges of border. When I am a Ugandan and I'm crossing to Rwanda, I shouldn't have any challenge. We go in the very motto which states we are one people and one common destiny. We are having challenges that we could want to solve at the East African platform. Unemployment, as we are aware, to all these East African countries, it is a common problem. Those who go for the formal employment, graduates, either diploma, either master's, either PhD, it becomes a small global community to only remain in Uganda. If we can solve this problem of opening borders, those for formal employment opportunity, those who want to utilize our economic base, that is agriculture, will be able to sell our agricultural products freely. But the reality of this, personally, is what is my central area of conviction. If we can make the realization of these treaties not to be on paper, but to ensure that the East African Community Treaty that is equal to our constitution, it puts in some of the acts that are in place. I cannot read all of them, but we make sure that we enforce what East African community should achieve. We remember, as we intend to go for such representation, we remember what has been happening during the previous 2-3 years. Yeah. We have had a conflict between Rwanda and Uganda, and they are leading to the closure of the border. All of us, I come from Kabale, and our people, if we go back to even the GDP of the country, was affected to a tune of 1.2 billion US dollars lost every year. And our people, most of them were suffocated. Previously, before, part of the work I do is not only politics. I'm a senior lecturer. I used to close easily to Rwanda, and I do lecturing. But at the closure of lecturing, we are here back. And of course, you know, if I could either occupy that position there of a lecturer, another person here can occupy also another position here. We begin to do what indeed is economic integration. So I do urge politicians who are participating in this process of the East African community to lead to a political federation, which now, because of challenges, it is a confederation. But the real instance which could matter is a political federation, where the political authority is controlled at the center, where all the member states are streamlined as per the legal framework to ensure that there's no one who can contravene the article. But we have challenges here where our article, the mission, the goals, the objectives, they are being breached, and there's no one yet who comes to say, no, we can stop at this. So, dear ladies and gentlemen, fellow countrymen and women, we believe the time is now. If Uganda is to make a step ahead, we need to have a formidable East African community with the strong bodies of which party I could desire, if I'm given opportunity by my political party, the FDC. In the FDC, I'm the Deputy Secretary General, and I've been the aspirant for, and I'm still in it, for the East African Legislative Assembly. If the Parliament of Uganda grants me the opportunity, we look to East African community not to be a body or a platform of sharing political opportunities. It should be a body to look back our challenges in this country. I do hope that in the power of unity, we wouldn't be suffering when we get a sick person, or the only solution is to just, get board the airplane, then maybe go to acquire medication in America, in India. We need strong-minded persons. And at the last, around 20 years, when the East African community resumed, 1999, I was a bit glad that the people of profile and understanding who were being sent to East African community could have done better. They have not done nothing, they have done some work, but we believe there is now, it's a point of action. It's a point of action where any country, if it is trying to bleach or divert from the main vision of East Africa, and all countries, they meet together at the summit level, they say country A or B. No, this one we cannot accept. And in that, I could love it so much, we would not no longer depend on Americans to believe that they are the ones who can come and solve our problems. We could no longer depend on India, that when you are sick here, you have to go India. In the East African community, looking at the social spheres of life, I believe 6 countries cannot be able to establish a specialized hospital that can handle my challenge, that can handle your challenge. I lost my mom 2014, could not manage to raise 60 million of the then time I was still pursuing the PhD. I began to say, how can we help our country? I come myself to participate in this process and to enlighten fellow Ugandans, viewers, that our countrymen, our countrywomen, the heads of state, let it not be either a time when you go for this election to say, political party FDC for you because you are not working with us, you will not go there. No. The East African Community Treaty, Article 1, Article 50, Subrule 1, it emphasizes the representation. That now gives us a platform to discuss what are we expected of to do to have a substantive East Africa legislative community. That's why I come here. And it clearly states that all member states, they shall elect members of parliament, not from the members of parliament, from the 9 political parties represented in parliament. Dear countrymen and women, those whom I was competing with at Najanankumbe for this race, I said, no, we must bring this on table, and we say, please, the nine members of parliament should represent the political parties. It is no longer a matter of numerical strength. I appreciate some strong-minded men and women who opposed the norm by 2012 when there was a court case of Mbide, Mukasa Mbide versus the Attorney General, meaning versus Uganda, because at first it was regarded as a matter of numerical strength. And the previous one of 2006 before that, which was movement system. And then now numerical strength, that if a leading opposition and maybe the NRM, the leading opposition can bring 2 and the NRM can bring like 6. No, no, no. That's not the case. And I come strongly and unstoppable, ready to cooperate with Ugandans who wants justice. That this time around, the 7 political parties in the parliament of Uganda must present 1 member of parliament. Other than that, it is a breach of the treaty. The interest groups, myself, I'm a vice chairperson of the University Professional Academic Staff Union. Those are my colleagues who are viewing me. We are saying no. The issues which we face here, they cross-cut. And as I talk about that point, labor is not only the professionals. We also look at the informal sector. Our businessmen and women have been suffocated at the border of Kenya. You also recall what has happened at Tanzania, at times with disagreement, whether we should go and sell our milk or whether we should not go and sell our milk. So I intend, if anyone will look in me, a potential to advance the cause of East African community, if given the opportunity, even any other person, this is something that must be settled. Let borders be open and we trade freely. Our passport should be of East Africa if we are to realize this. Our identity card, let our identity be East Africa. When you have your identity card, you don't need to first now say, you clear me at the border. I ever participated also in business. And I was testing all this. I'm a researcher. And I reached at the border of Rwanda, and the vehicle which was transporting my produce, and here they say, no, you have to clear the Rwanda Revenue Authority. The other side, I paid the 600,000. The east side, 300,000. Now I say, what's the interest of the East African community? We would like this time around, we agree, we respect the leadership that has been trying to advance this, but let there be reality of East African community. Why should we have instability? I talk about politics, instability. All of us, we would like to be peaceful, a peaceful nation, including Uganda, including Kenya, Tanzania. We have had proxy wars fought in Sudan. Proxy wars fought in the DRC, Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. And we find the very member states going to conflict. Rwanda, you remember the case of Kisangani. And now these are supposed to behave as brothers. and we reach now to another country which is interested to join us, they begin to fight. And unfortunately, history repeats itself. When we thought that maybe it will never happen again, I'm not knowing the final destination. You know, in analysis, you do a foresight, where you understand the operation of our government in DRC. It's good, they are pursuing labels, which is very good. But now also here, Rwanda also send there the armies. And they are not on the same mission. Suppose we were to have a realization of the East African community. We are supposed to have a united army. And we say we have a professional East African community air force. Any country that tries either to mess up what they have agreed upon, they say, we are coming for you. And either maybe you come in and explain or else. So the problem we are facing, everybody is the chairman, still a chairman of his own. And the one who go and say, no, me have caused the border. No one will talk about him. We had to first invite Angola to come and do the needful. And it's not that they don't have laws. I was cross-checking in my research. They have East African Community Conflict Management Act. And here on page 12, they are talking about the objective of this act. Why fail to resolve economic, social conflicts? When they cross the border, I have more experience I'm a neighbor to Rwanda, but also Kenya was presenting there a research paper. They first ask you, you cannot easily get employed. We need to have, if we are to realize this, and in terms of trade and also our economic prosperity, we need to have some bodies which will cross-cut and streamline, attend to cross-cutting issues and streamline what we should be doing. Uganda Bureau of Standards. Let it no longer be the Uganda Bureau of Standards. Let it be the East African one. So that when you are cleared here in Uganda and you reached at the border of Kenya, Tanzania, Southern Sudan, there is nothing like say that your goods are substandard. My leaders, these are the issues. Some of us who comes on board to contest and to request for an opportunity, what we need to see being realized.
Well, Doctor, after that passionate speech, I see that you really want to be part of the ELA. But because we are running out of time, in 1 minute, what can be done to improve and realize this ideal painting that you have described for us of the East African community?
Thank you so much. You cannot talk about the economic social welfare of citizens without not talking about the politics. And the politics, if we are talking about the democratic political processes, they start within the parties. And I'm a member and a leader in the FDC, and above all in charge of the docket of policy and research, to ensure that whatever we do is lawful. Anything other than that, as a Ugandan, as a member of the party that agrees with the principles of democracy rights, immediately I raise up a card. So what do I mean now to all political parties? Without discrimination, political divide, let us follow the law, number one, when we are deciding the members to send to the Parliament of Uganda for election. It is election, not endorsement. The rules of procedure, which I was part of in the amendment 2021, the new ones, when they were guided to come, the members of the Ugandan state to come and harmonize the rules of procedure, we are supposed, every political party you can send 2, you can send 3, and consider the following. I am here to give Ugandans information. Right. 1, make sure that you consider gender, a man or a woman. 2, interest groups. That means a worker, either registered formally, like as I am, then also the PW, people with disabilities, either consider 1, you also consider the youth. And maybe for you, if you want to consider gender, one aspect, and maybe a youth interest group, one aspect, then you present them. Yes. Then now when we reach there, because I said that's my conclusion, if the political process is unfair, or if they are frauded, contravened at all by any person or group of person, then the realization of the East African community will not work. Yes,
Doctor, thank you so much for that passionate, deliberately clever and insightful talk about the East African community.
Thank you, sir.
And hopefully we shall have you again to talk about this and more.
Thank you,
right
sir.
About now, that ends the conversation on the East African community and the future of the EALA, instead of pronouncing the whole acronym. But let's take a short break. We shall be back with more today.